desperately seeking relevance. It reminds me of the 1980s movie with Madonna called Desperately Seeking Susan. The economic freedom fighters grasping at straws for anything that keeps attention focused on them. Folks, wow. Yes, the latest from the prison suit wearing juvenile behaving members of South Africa's parliament who are of virtually no relevance and find themselves the outside looking in, now proudly proclaiming that they are the official opposition when they've been in opposition all along. But they're there almost by themselves, given that the government of national unity has over 71% of representation in parliament for the moment. The Economic Freedom Fighters Party spokesman, Leanne Mattis, has criticized Ramaphosa's broad cabinet last night, calling it bloated after he separated some departments to accommodate the political parties in the government of national unity. Now, once again, this is a rare moment, but I'm in agreement with the EFF and with Leanne Mattis in that, in fact, this is a bloated cabinet. Instead of reducing it from 30 cabinet ministries down to something reasonable like 16 or 17, it's actually increased to 32. So she has a point there, but that's where the end of her relevance and points, that's where they stop. So let me quote what she had to say. She said, the EFF has noted the announcement by Sir Ramaphosa of what is essentially an ANC-DA cabinet, confirming our long-standing view that the government of national unity was nothing but a smokescreen for the ANC to secure a predetermined grand coalition with the racist DA. Well, I also have said that this is not a government of national unity. It's simply a coalition, but it's not an ANC-DA coalition. It's a coalition of 11 parties, and she's being disingenuous and trying to mislead folks with her commentary. And racist DA, once again, you're going to need to start stating facts for why something is racist other than simply your uninformed opinion. She continued, it's even more concerning that this cabinet has been increased and bloated, signaling more pressure on taxpayers to allow for a combination of racist and their policies in high positions of power. First off, how many EFF supporters actually pay taxes? Seriously? You're concerned about taxpayers? That's interesting because later on you call taxpayers racist and you don't want them representing this government. I'll continue. She said the announcement by Ramaphosa confirms that the ANC has abandoned its historical role as a liberation movement in Africa and has solidified its role as an instrument of white supremacy and domestic and global capital on the continent. Well, of course it's abandoned liberation. You may not be paying attention to current events, but that ended 32 years ago with a referendum, you dingbat doorknob. Liberation's over. Stop being such clowns. It's over. The National Party capitulated 32 years ago. My goodness. An instrument of white supremacy? Come again. So the 22% of voters who actually bothered to vote, which is more than double the EFF's total, by the way. Sorry, inconvenient fact there. So the 22% of voters who actually voted should not be represented in this government? Now, why exactly? Is it because you're race hustling and slandering 3.5 million voters, the vast majority of whom are not even white? Only about a third of the DA's voters are actually white. Domestic and global capital. Well, yeah. Do you loons have any concept how economics actually works? It requires capital. No wonder no one wants to vote for the EFF. They have no concept of macroeconomic policies. She continued, these positions mean that racists are poised to implement regressive and neoliberal policies that will entrench market fundamentalism and profit maximization by the corporate and financial sector at the expense of the poor black majority. Communist. Oh, they're so funny. Hello? Have you borne witness to the past 30 years of majority rule? 3 times as many black South Africans live in abject poverty today than under the National Party. What an achievement by majority rule. Implement regressive and neoliberal policies. Listen, Leanne, you should take up comedy. Neoliberal policies are actually progressive, not regressive. Liberalism is progressive. Conservatism isn't regressive, but it certainly isn't progressive. But liberalism is progressive. Profit maximization by the corporate and financial sector. Well, why exactly would folks invest in a collapsing state unless it's to make money? Stupid communist rhetoric here on her part once again. At the expense of the poor black majority. So black folks are not part of the economy? Someone better tell the over 5 million middle-class black Safas that they do not exist. Also knock on all the rich cadres and tell them they must be Nigerian. Couldn't be South African, according to the geniuses at the EFF. It is inexcusable to give racists control and influence in sectors such as agriculture, trade, finance, education, energy, and infrastructure development when they have exhibited that where they govern, they prioritize the interests of the white minority. Ooh. Oh, dear God. Have you seen the Eastern Cape? Have you seen... By the way, where does EFF govern? Oh, yeah, that's right. Nowhere. Well, they were in coalitions in Nelson Mandela Bay, which it collapsed, and in Shawnee, which they collapsed, and Joburg, which they collapsed, and in Durban, which they collapsed. Where is the EFF? By the way, where's that school that you promised 6 years ago now? 2018, I think it was. Have you built that school yet? Nope. Wow. Could you be more of a race hustler than what she said? Ladies and gentlemen, the EFF is ill, and they're too dim to realize the jig is up. As I've long stated, there are simply not enough stupid people in South Africa for the EFF to ever climb above 15% of the vote. And that's been proven in this election. Now they're a minority party that no one's interested in, no one's listening to. And the only reason that I'm reporting on them is not because they're a party of interest to their newsmakers. Well, they are, but that's not the reason. The reason is because of their harmful, criminal injuria, race-based language. This is a party whose leader fires live ammunition into the air, endangering public safety, whose leaders sing songs about murdering white people, who marches illegally, doesn't wear a mask, threatens the government to force them to get the Sputnik and the Chi-Com jabs. This is a party that's about rabble-rousing and troublemaking, very much akin to the SA, the Sturmabteilung, brown shirts of the Nazi Party in the 1930s, who beat up on their opponents. They're very similar to that group of people. And why do we take them seriously? Because they present a threat to public safety. Remember clicks? Remember that? A black manager posted a video an advertisement, a photograph on the Clicks website. A black man posted it. It was impolite and insensitive, but the EFF lost its mind and sent its stormtroopers out to attack 43 Clicks locations around South Africa. Do you think we've forgotten that, Leanne? Julius? No. Floyd, we haven't forgotten your conduct. And one day, no one will vote for this pathetic party. But in the meantime, they'll make threats and call people names. Thanks a lot, folks. Cheers. Take care.